Well, guys, shall we start? So, welcome to the last theory lesson number 18, preparation of a business plan. So, I think it's time to quickly recap, the things we discussed because why? In this lesson, I would say 20% is something new for you to catch up, and 80% is from the existing knowledge. Because why? The content of the business plan. Why I'm saying like that? Because when you're conducting a business, there are a set of areas that you will have to look into, I would say. You will have to look into a marketing area, HR, operations or productions, research and development, financials. So all that you need to have control. You need to have a plan for each area. Now imagine having a good marketing plan and not having a good production plan. It doesn't, I would say match each other. Now, having a good HR plan and not having a good financial plan, again, it will not fulfill your organization objective. So then it's really important that you prepare a successful business plan. Right. Now, today is just a day one. I'll quickly go through an intro. What do I mean by this business plan and the content of it, like starting from executive summary to the business description. And for different business functions, I would say, there are a couple of sub plans that you have to prepare. So things like that we'll be discussing. And then, like I said, there are several areas I'm trying to cover marketing plan today. So how do you prepare a marketing plan? And also apart from that, I will also show you some of the example of the already prepared business plans for some businesses. Now, the question number one arises, why do we need to prepare a business plan? So I would say that it's all about to start with an idea from the entrepreneur's point of view. I think I would happy to call that person as an entrepreneur rather than a businessman. Because most of the cases for a new entity, for a new concept, start with the entrepreneur. So in that manner, he's just having a business idea, something new, and he's trying to convert into a business plan. So, even we have talked about the planning, even the management studies as well. I can see that, if you don't have a proper plan that you are planning to fail, I would say. So likewise, it's really important that you have a proper plan because why you are trying to imagine it, you are the future business, or maybe you're having existing business, you're trying to expand it, or maybe it could be a newly gonna establish a business. So in that case, it's really important that you know things. Then you can track and you can have a control at the same time. So we'll talk about those stuff. So everything starts with the business idea and you need to project it, maybe to attract your investors, maybe that you can convince your board of directors or the management that you're trying to hire, to run this business. So they need to have something approved for you to believe that, you can commence this business. If not, it's just the idea that you have in your mind. So how do you communicate? I would say it's like a projection of what you have in your mind, so to the future stakeholders of the business, right? So there are a couple of factors that are really important, especially for you to acquire the funds, I would say, and to have the required human skills for your future business. Well, and so guys, I'll be providing you the tute shortly, right? So then you receive that, but today you can just manage with the soft copy that also I'll be sharing. Well, so this all start with the concept of business idea. So that's what you need to convert into a plan, because everything starts with the idea, I would say. So then you need to grow that idea and to build your to make your imagination a success. So the idea originated within an entrepreneur. So that's what I was telling about. I would rather, happy to call that person as an entrepreneur rather than a businessman, about a product which could satisfy a need or want. Because we know that entrepreneurs are looking to the new ways that they can satisfy human needs and wants. Now, the the person who came up with the concept of this online platform, Zoom, so that is to identify a need and a want. Right? So there was a huge need or a want for a communication in a proper way. Just having a single meeting ID and a password, or maybe just a link that you can connect anyone from the world as far as that person is having internet connection and a device to connect. So that's the business idea that he had and then converted, and they are making thousands of dollars from that idea, right? They don't need to I would say because once you try to create that idea into a businessman, that will be a huge cash flow. Now imagine the YouTube, right? So millions of advertisements playing, and it's a resource of earning an income. So but maybe that's just an idea someone had to maybe collect all the videos in a one platform. Now that expanded to a business, having millions of YouTube channels and playing advertisements, earning income, so and so, right? And Facebook, all the stuff like in the same manner. But it's all start with an idea, right? So Zuckerberg had this idea to connect four of his colleagues to one platform to communicate information, data, pictures, stuff like that. So now it's a billion users. So that's what everything starts with an idea, I would say. So it's really important that you, from the entrepreneur's point of view, think about an idea. So it says the concept, right? The idea originated with an entrepreneur about a product which could satisfy. They're saying could satisfy. So in terms of maybe there will be failures, success. You're not getting everything at the right way at the very first time. Right? So could satisfy a need or a want, or an individual, or could be an organization, is referred to a business idea. So that's what you first come with a good idea. You need to then the steps all the way. So a business opportunity should be decided through the macro and micro analysis of those business ideas. So just because you had this idea, you always see the factors. So factors coming through you maybe internally, externally, as well as some macro and micro analysis. So here, evaluating all the business ideas to identify the suitable business idea. So you have a set of ideas that you try to convert into a business idea. Because it should be something profitable, or maybe you have seen the future potentials of earning a good profit. The evaluation should be done based on external environment factors, as you see here, right? Which have economic environment, a democratic environment, social and cultural. So now this refresh your knowledge in terms of your very first lesson. We talk about the macro environment factors. We talk about political environment. We talk about legal environment, technological environment. So some of the examples for the macro environmental factors. Why? So now to talk about this micro level, I would say, so we do have the internal environment and the task environment. So that's what the micro, I would say it's internally. So in order to select the most rewarding business idea out of the ideas selected from the macro analysis, they are subjected to a micro analysis. So this micro analysis should be done on internal and task environment factors. Now, you try to cater this idea to the larger audience, I would say. That's what you consider about, because it's I would say that you cannot generate an idea within the business. You're talking about the customers, or talking about the employees. So rather think the picture. So in that case, you need to look into the factors. You look into the macro factors and try to come up with an idea. Now, the people who, the person who invented, so maybe think about the technological factor. So think about the larger content, so how the large audience could be gathered. So that's how it's originated from the not micro, from the macro environment. So even the Facebook, even the WhatsApp, YouTube, so there's no restrictions at all. So try to target the macro environments. Then you try to match with the micro, whether you can cater that business idea into a reality. So that's what you need to start with, the macro environment. Right, so because as why you see even the opportunities, right, come from that external one. For that, you only have the strengths or weaknesses to face those opportunities. So it's a business plan should be prepared for the selected business opportunity in that manner. So that's why, because when you see the economic environment, you see the opportunities. When you see the democratic environment, you see the social and cultural, you see the opportunities. The basic theory is simple SWOT analysis, because we have learned the fact that opportunities and threats. So we do not talk about threats here. And for the opportunity, what sort of opportunity that you can grab? So opportunity does not come from internally. So that's from the external or the macro environment. So you have to see that one. You have to see what sort of opportunity that you can grab. Well, for that, you have to see then your internal strengths and weaknesses, whether you can, cater that in terms of make that a reality. So that's what they're talking about, the business opportunity from the macro environment. Well, so then a business plan is prepared for a new business opportunity as well as when expanding, right? So now a lot of students think the fact that it's always for a new business opportunity. Yes, most of the time, but it could be also used when you're expanding the existing business, because you didn't have a proper plan. And when you maybe amalgamate or when you modify your business, when you try to purchase, or there could be business combinations. But that also, so any movement in your business or any changes to your business, you can come up with a plan. Now, for example, just to tell you, just simple example. Now, before you construct a house, you come up with a plan. So that's the plan that you prepare before constructing. Or maybe once you construct it, if you want to modern it, or maybe you can add another part of it, maybe to just upgrade your home. So in that manner, you can come up with another separate plan. So the same manner you are saying, yes, you might have already a business, but you need to modify it, or maybe you have to make it to the next level. So in that manner, coming up with the plan. So it's not always for a new business, but as well as you expand your existing business as well, because it's good to have a plan that you know what you are trying to do. So then you can ensure you are within a track on it. Well, so now coming to the business plan, now here it explains you the fact that a business plan is a document which describes the goals and objectives of a business and strategies that should be followed to achieve them. So this is a roadmap showing the way of the business idea. Yes, you can see the keyword here. This is a roadmap, I would say. So what do you mean by a roadmap? Yeah, so when you have the roadmap, it's really easy that, because you need to have now, for example, even for your life also, you can have a roadmap. So we have your final target here. So then how you go there. So like for now, just because you have an idea, how you make it convert to a business, how do you make profit out of it? So you have to have this, the clear route, I would say. Maybe that multiple routes somehow to achieve, you go there. Now, because when you want to go for a destination, not just one route that you have, right? So what sort of possible routes they have, but somehow I would say this is the route map. So just because you just have idea, that you are not in a position to convert into a business. And නැත්නම් අපි කියව හැමදාම idea එක ඔළුවේ තියාගෙන ඉන්න හරිය මෙහෙම දෙයක් කරන්න මෙහෙම දෙයක් but you never try to convert that into a business. That you need to have this route map showing the way how you can achieve that. Well, now why you really need to prepare a business plan. So let's talk about this plan. And the business plan deficits where the business should go in the future. Right? So that's what you need to explain about your vision, mission, goals, and objectives. Maybe to investors, so how do you convince an investor, please come and invest. So then they need to see your vision, mission, the future establishment of the business. So that's what one of a part would be, talk about the future growth. So how do you project yourself? How do you project your business in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time? That's what they talk about these stuff. So we have already talked about those stuff. What is vision, mission? So it will refresh on it. So that's what you need to have, where you need your business to go. How is your projections in terms of the timeline? And then coming to the next part, gives a comparison about the business to the interested parties, because why? There will be always interest parties. Even if you start a new business, there will be interested party. Even you expand the existing business, there will be interested parties as always. So it could be intellects, and they need to know what you are trying to, implement. They want to know what you're trying to start as a new business. So in that manner, that also really important for them as well. And to get the financial facilities required by the business. So maybe that you are just a startup. Maybe you are going for a venture capitalist, or maybe for a bank. So maybe you try to talk to an investor and convince them to invest. So then how we should, because maybe if you don't have already business, you don't have any past transaction, you don't have any past financials to show, but just a report that you have with your hands. So the way how you present, we will be able to achieve whatever the financial requirements. That's also one matter. To have a proper planning. If they see that it's a kind of a feasible thing to achieve, obviously you can attract the investors as well. So that's what the financial facilities required, right? At least now there are two factors here, I would say. One thing is to attract the investment, and at the same time, you need to also have an idea about the investment, the total cost of the investment. You need to have an idea about what sort of amount that you needed, right? Now, prior to collect that amount, somehow you have an idea what sort of amount that you need to have. So that's what you need to have the financial plan. So it says the initial amount for this one, right? Then only even you can have a plan to collect that amount as well. So to identify the required resources for a business and to maneuver very easily. Well, because not just that maybe that you already have financial facilities, or maybe I followed that, but not just, right? You have the land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, maybe like time, stuff like that. So all the things we had to do. Well, so that's what. So how do you have your HR plan, your other resources? So it's not always the money, I would say. So you how can get those other resources as well, and the ability to organize the future business activities in order to well through the decision of the everything suitability, yes, and usefulness for everything, the performance of the business, assisting and attracting employees for the positions of the business, easy regulation and control, especially attracting very smart people to your business. It will really help that you have a proper plan, because otherwise they will also reluctant to join, that they don't see a future growth, they don't see any future plan attached into the business. Maybe they're thinking about that will be a risk for their employment, so maybe try to leave from the organization or not deciding to join. So that's going to be really difficult for you, because you are not in a position to handle everything by yourself. In order to conduct or start a successful and to implement those, you need to have a kind of a smart people with the experience to lead this way. Right. So then we talk about, guys, a kind of a definition for a business plan, and so how we started with the concept of idea. So this is all about talk about idea, and it's always give you an opportunity. So how you grab that opportunity from the macro environment factors, and from the macro you have to do an micro analysis whether you have the capability to grab that opportunity. So that's what where the strengths and weaknesses matters. So then coming to business plan and the importance. Now let's move to the factors to be considered in preparing a business plan. So what sort of the stuff that you need to consider here? So the focus, I would say, from which background you are from, what's kind of a product also that you are trying to present, how is business going to be started, right? How can you can improve it further? So you need to have a plan. So your background, maybe your background helps a lot. Because now, example, that if you start something that which is not related to your background, now, for example, I'm trying to start a business with software development, so I don't have any idea about stuff, right? So initially your background matters, I would say, initially, right? Not later on. Initially it matters, because that's what where you have to build the stuff. But later on, when you are doing, investment, when you are purchasing, or when you are trying to acquire another business, it doesn't matter. Then you can have a very smart set of people to advise. But initially, to start off with, you need to have that background, I would say. And the customers. So how is your target customers? So how you clearly reach towards them. So if you have any leads, if you have any contacts, So how you can find your initial customers? That's going to be a really challenge. And the goals. So information such as the main goals, the way of reaching them, if they are very reasonable to the market, and how about to evaluate the successfulness of the business. So you have to see the goals and whether those are like a reasonable or practically achieved, stuff like that. And also, last but not least, guys, required financial resources. Based on your idea that you're trying to generate, based on the opportunity that you're trying to grab, definitely you need to have the financial resources, I would say, because how much money is required to start and conduct a business and how to obtain it. So that's going to be a really tough for them, because unless otherwise you won't be able to cater for that. So that also one of the matter here for us to discuss. Right, so now moving that, guys, now let's see the components. So what sort of things that you need to enter for this business plan? So starting from the cover page and the executive summary, the business description, marketing plan, operation plan. So likewise, you see the fact that starting from this stuff, you need to have a very proper cover page, and then the executive summary, which give you a brief intro about what to implement here, and then the business description about maybe the goals or maybe your business addresses, your information about the management, and then separate for each section, like I earlier described, separate area for your marketing plan, separate area for your operation or production plan, and separate area for your HR plan, and then financial plan, and also all the attachments that you can attach or whatever the references that you're trying to do. Right? Well, let me start with the cover page. So this is something that you need to attractively create, right? So I'll show you a couple of cover pages as well. Now, if you think about business like this, so we can start with a good cover page. Right? Not a big deal, guys. So even there are a lot of suggestions for a I would say for a cover page, right? So it doesn't matter because we always know the fact that a book or a report cannot be judged by its cover, but maybe to give a good impression, so you can come up with an attractive cover as well. So suitable place to be include all the symbols, or maybe if you're trying to highlight a brand there, so definitely you can put there. And also maybe like address, phone number, fax, web pages should also include in the cover page so they can contact easily. And the referee should conduct it regarding a question or information, also maybe a contact or a hotline number, so you can mention there as the cover page. Well, and so executive summary, guys, again, there is a separate section for you to cover with the this stuff, executive summary. But let me explain you here. So yes, this is a section in which the basic facts in a business plan are briefly stated. So while this is a section that gives the reader of the plan a gross comprehension about the whole plan, and it always should be brief and very attractive. Right? So we'll discuss how we can prepare an executive summary, so which gives you a brief idea about the total plan. But you cannot really rely on the executive summary. You need to go into detail, but it will give you some sort of a thing that for you to for someone to motivate and see all the content here. And then you can come up with these business descriptions here, because what sort of business you are trying to start, then they really need to know about your business. So your name and address, then again, your goals and objectives, maybe mission you can start, your pioneers, or maybe if there's any founders. So if you are like in a good profiles, they are well-known persons, so they're going to be a really help for you to get those people. And the organization structure from the founder to the owners, to the board of directors, right? Type of the organization also, right? Whether you are a listed company or non-listed, private, public, or maybe a partnership or sole trader. So that also matter, because I would say that especially if you are trying to maybe go for a share issue, maybe I try for new investments. Right? In that manner, type of organization also matters. And also, what is your offering, right? So what sort of thing that you're trying to sell, or what sort of a need and want that you're trying to fulfill as an entrepreneur or a businessman. So that will be your goods and services. So that you need to ensure that you provide. And separately for the marketing, so which will be starting quickly, which is so you'll be having separate topics like for like marketing plan will be separately discussed, and the operations plan and the HR plan. So HR that we completed recently. So again, it will refresh your knowledge, and also financial plan. So it will refresh your stuff related to financial management and all the appendix here, right? So again, put your diagrams, charts, data reports, data should be data reports, stuff like that, and all. There may be a ratio analysis. You can based on that you can input. Well, so coming back to this marketing plan, and prior to that, I would like to show you some of the that I downloaded, some of the business plans. Now, here's they're trying to prepare a business plan for an airport cafe, right? So in an airport terminal, they try to inside to start a cafe or a kind of restaurant, I would say. So you can see the content here. So this is what you see the executive summary. You can see just gonna limit to as per this case, like 2 pages, I would say. Right? So we'll try to give you an understanding about what sort of a thing that you are planning to start. So full service restaurant located in airside of Heathrow Terminal 3. So like a description about the business, right? So it's like a summary, like a summary from your marketing plan, a summary from your HR plan, summary from your finance. You can, that sort of thing that you can add here. Right now, I would say if you summarize what is your marketing plan, so then you can include as a 1 para, right? Maybe a summary of your HR plan, so all together, then they can get a clear idea. So then they have separately the business and operation plan, how they try to think here what sort of a products, beverage, food, and others. So you see those stuff. And then market compete analysis comes on the marketing plan, like their growth, year 1, year 2, year 3, stuff like that. Well, their main competitors, stuff like that, marketing and sales. And guys, for you to tell you the fact that there's no such a like a standard template, right, for a preparation of a business plan. So in that manner, you can come up with your own, because it's something that thing that you try to build on really based on the information available, right? So you don't know to follow, because there are not a couple of standard like accounting standard that we have to follow. This is when you, but the basics are there, so you can customize based on your requirement and in order to attract whatever the target audience that you're trying to present this report. So it's all about the business. So again, another one, you can see what sort of a content they are trying to provide. Well, so with that, guys, so let's quickly move to our very first plan, kind of a sub plan, I would say, in your business plan, which is the marketing plan here. Well, so talk about what this marketing plan is all about and why we need to have a marketing plan and the content of the marketing plan and the prepares marketing plan for a given example. So definitely this will need to know or refresh our knowledge in terms of I would say marketing, right? Because guys, here now you might see that because there's a flow as well. When you prepare the business plan, now you cannot really come up with the HR plan first, because marketing plan matters, because that I would say describe what we're trying to offer your product and services. If you go with the 4 pieces, product is price distribution, yes, that's what you need to prepare the marketing plan first, I would say. Right? You cannot create the marketing plan once you prepare all the stuff, right? Because that will also give you the revenue factor, which is from the price. And also you talk about the cost, you talk about what's the product that you're trying to offer. That's going to be a key thing, right, for a business. So that's what the very first sub plan, you come up with the marketing. So not financial plan, not the HR plan, or maybe not the operation plan. So based on the marketing plan, based on the estimation, because you'll be doing estimation here. to estimated sales. So for the estimated sales, only you can come up with the plan to produce. Right? So when you have plan to produce, then you can come up with the maybe HR plan because type of employee that you require, and then finally financial plan to cover up all the costs. Because then you have cost for marketing, cost for HR, and cost for production. Finally, you all get the stuff right here. So that's what it comes first. The section which describe the facts such as the market, competition. So you remember all the marketing words that we discussed there. All the marketing strategies, sales forecasting will be included in a marketing plan. And also following are some reason for a marketing plan to be important. Let's see. So it's point out that there's an adequate and expanding market for the product, because now when you have all the plans properly, you have proper financial plan, proper production plan, but what if there's no feasible market to offer? Then how do you earn the income without having a proper market? So that's what is really important, to analyze the fact that there's a feasible market for you, whether it's accessible for you, or maybe there could be restriction that you can enter it. It doesn't matter, how many how strong plan you have for your other areas, but not having this access to the market, right? So that's what it really matters to here, coming up with the marketing plan. And also it point out can be faced, what can be faced. Now here, what sort of that you can include it there. Because you need to ensure that analysis of the industry and market, because this is the market that will be operating. Let's see what sort of a market or industry. Now guys, what's the difference between the industry and the market, I would say. Now, for example, if you think about this, tuition and providing. So tuition is a market, I would say, but the industry is education, right? So maybe private hospitals could be a market, but health will be the industry. So that's what the difference between the industry and the market, right? And if you think about staff transportation service, so that could be the market, and for the industry will be transportation industry. So that's what you need to see, because the opportunities, the challenges, threats in the industry will impact to your market as well, because market is inside the industry. Because in an industry you see a lot of markets, the sub markets, I would say. Right, talking about the health industry, you see a lot of markets. And you see education industry, you see a lot of markets. Right now, A-level, maybe like high education, like school education, things like that, several markets. So that's what we see generally, what sort of opportunities in the education industry. Right? So that's what we need to have an idea about industry it operates and the market. And goods or services expected to be sold, maybe in a position that a production business where you be producing goods, or maybe you are a service providing business. So that has to be decided. That's what's expected that you offer the product bundle, I would say. And definitely you need to have a target market. So if you remember the start from, because you are not in a position to cater to the whole markets in that manner, the specific target audience that you are trying to attract. So that's what you need to decide how my product or service, how my good or service is expected to be sold in this target market. And also analysis of a competition, so possible competitors, who are the current competitors, who are the market leaders at this point. So in that manner, how it's gonna impact to our business. And also expected sales, because that is where you can come up with a plan of operation. That is where you come up with a plan of HR when you have expected sales. And marketing strategies of the competitors, so what they really use, or maybe that a market leader could give a good example what sort of strategies that they use. So you will be doing an evaluation about the strategies of your key competitors or the key players in the market, what they're trying to do. And the proposed marketing strategies, then you should have a strategy for your product. So this always distribute the fact that the 4 pieces, I would say, product, price, place, and promotion. So then for the 4 pieces, you'll be having a separate strategy. What should be my product strategy, right? So in the product strategy, maybe that you are trying to go for the quality, or maybe for a premium product that you're trying to face, or maybe a product that can affordable for everyone. So just a couple of examples how your product strategy works. And of course, I believe that you remember the pricing strategies could be product quality leadership, or maybe like pricing skimming method, or maybe just cost plus pricing, right? Or maybe the pricing leadership. So is that whatever the pricing strategy that you need to follow? And the distribution strategies, maybe like whether you are a person who in a capacity of distribution that process, maybe have that resources for you, or maybe you try to just be the producer and you try to get the help of the intermediaries to finally get that product into the final consumer. So how your distribution strategies work, how you can make convenience for all the customers to purchase this product. And finally, the promotion strategies, whether you are going for like advertisements or newspapers, social medias, or digital platform, how is your promotion strategy going to work? So stuff like that. And finally, your annual sales forecast. And not last but not least, guys, will be having the marketing expenses as well. And how do you cover up those stuff? Because especially if you try to introduce a new product, if you need to have the high marketing expenses, that's what's of a possible, amount that you can come up with. And then you need to have this, stuff. So that's gonna really matter. So here you have the set of elements that you need to see here, starting from the analysis of the industry, because it's good to know the industry that you operate, not just the market that you operate, because the things matters from the industry to the market. Well, so these are the factors. Now let's start with the industry analysis. Let's say, so in this industry and market analysis, a complete description about the industry is presented. So that means the current position of the industry. Now, for example, if you think about, now let's say that the industry is expanding, there are definitely opportunities. Maybe the industry is not good. Now, for example, for this stage, I would say construction industry is not in a good position because of this pricing of high price increasement of all the materials in that manner. The construction industry in a way, in a risk, I would say. Maybe there are some other industries, and especially think about the tourism industry. So again, in a difficult time period in this movement. So in that manner, if you have something to offer in that industry, you are definitely think what sort of challenges faced in the industry. Because like I previously said, your market is inside your industry. So if industry is not, doing well, how do you expect a good market for that? Well, so that's what you need to think. So that's what the challenges. So you have to go in detail to the industry position, the sales, profits, growth rates, and other things as well. Now, if during the COVID period, I still remember I read an article about these, I would say, aviation industry where because suddenly all the countries went locked down and the planes and the aircraft were parked in an area with like 1,000 or like more than 1,000 aircraft just ground in there because of this, flight cancellation, stuff like that. Even a lot of staff, even include like pilots, first of all, they lost their job due to this stuff. That was kind of temporary, but now it's booming again. So likewise, you see the industry, if the industry is not definitely going to work, definitely that's going to impact to you. So that's what you have to see. So here, such as who are the buyers and whether the market is a local or a national. So then you come up with the market cash. Here, what sort of buyers that you have, the local or a national or international that you're trying to cater. Well, so in that manner, definitely your product matters, right? So details about the product. So is that a product, a good, or a service, and your product mix. I remember that you, I hope that you remember this one, guys, product mix, if you remember that. The length of the product, with them, so how sort of things that we're having. For example, that if you think about the Cargills, maybe a different types of things having. Or maybe like the product mix of Unilever, if you remember that we discussed. So the length, width, and the depth of the product mix, you have to decide there. And also usage of the products are going to really help the customers to, I would say, fulfill their needs and wants. And also design quantity and the type of each product. So that's what you need to mention under this stuff. And some of the information that should be presented about the target market. So coming to the target market here now. So you need to ensure the fact that exclusive features of the target market, and if there's any segmentation, and if there's any trends and expected changes of the target market. If you see the target market is changing, you also have to do that change. And also strategies to reach the target market. So that also going to matter here. Well, and you do a competition analysis, your competitors, existing competition. If you need to have a competition for all the products and their strength. So because their strength matters a lot, because the strengths having in the competitors gonna be a threat for you, because having a good strength for your competitors. So maybe they established for a couple of periods with the business. So in that manner, you can really see that how their strength gonna impact to your business. And also entrepreneur strength and weaknesses to face the competition, that we are in a good position to face it. And barriers to access markets such as the cost, time, technology, maybe even like the patent rights. You have to see the legal factors as well, how to access to this target market. And also we ensure the fact that the size of the target market, the number of people, the purchasing power of the expected customers, and also if there's any expected market growth. Now, if you see a target market, it just a no growth, maybe that's better to you shift for another target market, right? And for the competitors, you have to see their pricing strategies, you have to see their distribution strategies, you have to see their promotion strategies. So what sort of thing that they do follow, and maybe a successful competitors, you can do a deep analysis to identify what sort of strategies that they use. Maybe you try to follow the same one, or maybe you try to follow something you can challenge for those stuff. So a few information that should be included for a proposed marketing strategies. You need to have a product strategy separately, pricing strategy separately, and distribution one, and also promotion. Well, so guys, now so we discussed a lot of factors here. Now let's come to kind of a example here. Actually, you have example for a marketing plan. So this is basically you can decide based on your business requirement, right? There's no specific template or a standard saying this should be included in every marketing plan that you prepare. It could be depend on the business organizer. It could be depend on the audience that you're trying to present. It could be depend on the product or whatever the offerings that you have. Now, but whatever the basic information should be covered. It doesn't matter whatever the structure or the template that you use, but the expected information should be there somehow. Now, so yes, so you need to mention about the products expected to be sold. So you can see your related product. Now, for example, coming back to this one, you can see what they are trying to right, sell here. You can see they are explaining here their product, and yeah, so describe the product. So beverages, foods, and others. Likewise, you can come up here. So how to relate to a product. Right now, for example, if I into computer selling business, so you can see what's of the product and the design, the types that you're trying to sell. And then come up with the target market. So you can have a separate product. So now, for example, if you think about the Nestle company, right? So they do have like Milo is Nestle, and even Nestamol is Nestle product. Again, you have such a Nestle products, right? So if you think about, if you just Google and see the Nestle one, because a different one, they're trying to target different set of audience. Because not from the same audience that you can survive sometime. Okay? So let's see, apart from Milo and Nestamol, then you can find any Nestle products. Yes, there's a plenty of options here, guys. Yes, look at this one. Let me share my content. Yeah, so even Nespray is one of their product. Okay, I'll share my screen. Because for the different one, you can target different set of people. Well, so I have the Nestle product. So let's take the company Nestle. I hope you see my screen. Yes, right. Okay, from which one we can start? Let's hear this one. You can see even Nescafe is one of their product, right? So you have Nestamol, like Milo, Nespray, even Maggie, and Milkmaid, Milo, again Nespray, this milk, and the Nescafe as well, right? Set of products. So Nestum, Nescafe, Easy Daily, kind of a good product, right? Nestle, is that KitKat also from Nestle, right? Isn't it? Yes, Nestle KitKat yes, exactly. So you can see, right? So let's take like Milo, Nestamol, Nespray, KitKat, Nescafe, stuff like that. So kind of a product they're trying to offer. So then you can see the target. So Milo, Nestamol, and Nescafe. You had their Maggie, yes. You had then KitKat. Well, for that you can have the your target customers. Maybe like KitKat, like so you're targeting kids, or maybe like Maggie, like teenagers, or like a Nescafe, like maybe corporate customers, right? Nestamol, Milo. So definitely, so how you kind of come up with the target customers. And the competition analysis, you can see the existing company. Now, if you think about one, now what do you think, guys? Competitor for like Maggie product, maybe like we have other one called what is that? Prima, right? It's a Prima product. So you can see existing competitor Prima. What do you think about like Milo, who's like a competitor? How do you see Milo competitor? Other product, guys, if you remember. There's a Horlicks, right? Yes. You can see Horlicks there. You can see like Sustagen. So shall we take Horlicks as a competitor for Milo? And yeah, so stuff like that. Rich Life. So like if you think about this Milo drink, Rich Life is not something. Yeah, no. Here you can see the competitors. Right. So if I'm talking about this Milo drink, not that Milo powder thing, right? So here, if you think about the Milo, you have in Sri Lankan context, if you think about like Highland, Anchor New Dale, Rich Life, Daily Chocolate, and Kotmale. Yeah, so could be the challenge for them. And if you think about these Milo product, even Horlicks in Sri Lanka, I don't think that big one, other one, I haven't heard about those brands. So yeah, and Viva, yes, so Viva also one of the maybe for like Nestamalt, Viva could be a competitor. Well, so there's a set of competitors, right? And even if you think about like for a KitKat, definitely there are a set of competitors, I would say, from think about from the chocolates point of view, like Mars, like set of stuff here. Well, let's say a couple of competitors. So I'll come back to my thing and write. So Prima, Horlicks, and then like Anchor. So Anchor is like the brand, guys. The company is the Fonterra, right? Company is Fonterra, right? So likewise, so Horlicks is also the brand. I'm not sure about the company. So, but somehow we can take the competitors, no issue. So then who else we had? We had like Highland, competitor for Milo, the Nestle company. Viva. So again, so then you can come up with a list of competitors. Then you can see their strength and weaknesses. Or maybe like something like Highlands, that like a high brand reputation is there. But again, their weaknesses, they're not trying to cater the, I would say, because I always prefer that Highland, this Kalkiri product, right? It's really good. And I prefer that over Milo, obviously. But we do not see that supply coming on time, because there's a very rare chart that you go to a shop and you don't see a Milo, right? Not a Milo එකක් ගන්න නැති තැනක් වාගෙන අමාරුයිනේ නේද? හැමතැනම තියෙන. කවුරුත් කියන Milo ඉවරයි. Milo ආවේ නැහැ අද. එහෙම කියනවාද? නැහැ නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට. But මොනාරි Highland product එකක් ගත්තොත් කියොත් නේද? Product එක තාම ආවේ නැහැ. ඉතින් මේ විදිහට ප්‍රශ්න excuses ගොඩක් කියනවා. But when you see that, you see always the product is there. So that could be a weakness if you see that. So not product available in the or every time, right? So stuff like that. So come up with the strengths and weaknesses for each and every competitor. You can do an analysis here, which is the competition analysis, right? So try to find their strength, or maybe like having a higher brand or having a higher market share than us. So you can see their, even weaknesses and strengths. So you can see how you can face this, because without knowing their strengths and weaknesses, it's really difficult that how you can come up with a plan to face. Well, so that's gonna be your third step there. So again, quickly revise the stuff. So you product the details here, like I said. You can insert the pictures or maybe like a video clip there, and the target markets, how to target for each type of product, and then the competition analysis. So now let's see the fourth one. Now to face the competition, what sort of a strength and weakness you do have from your point of view? Right now, like I said, for the weakness, they are not having the product available at every time. So maybe that's gonna be a strength that you can see. You have a highly high distribution network where you can distribute the product and to avoid any market demand shortages, stuff like that. Well, so likewise, you can see based on, because based on the strength and weaknesses, only you can come up with this. So you have to see what sort of strengths and weaknesses for your existing competitors, and coming up with your own strengths and weaknesses, how you can face. Well, so probably how this gonna work is, guys, now for their weaknesses, you have to come up with your strengths, and for their strengths, so they're gonna be your weaknesses. So then how you can avoid those. And the fifth one, which is your marketing strategies. So what is your marketing strategies when you come to product, price, place, promotion? So what sort of a product strategy used by your competitors? So maybe they are trying to offer a bundle of product, right? So maybe the strategies of the business. And the price, or maybe it's charging a premium price or a price which is very lower, below the, I would say, average price, stuff like that. So place, how it's gonna available for you to purchase, stuff like that. So to ensure that what sort of a strategies separately, so product, price, place, and promotion, and what's gonna be your strategy to face those. And for the sixth one, guys, you can come up with the step of these sales revenue and because you also have to have some idea about the numbers, not always going for qualitative aspect. So from the quantitative point of view, what sort of sales revenue and expenditure forecast that you can have, right? So you can come up with that type of product. Now, for example, let's say Milo here, you get your Nescafe here. So I'm going to just go with this 3, and you have KitKat. So I'm just going to go with these 3 products, and you can have your expected sales. So this is only for like 1 year, because you cannot like forward like for 5-6 years. So maybe like expected sales. So this is in quantity, I would say. So let's say quantity like say like 5,000, like 7,000, like 10,000. And then you can come up with the unit price, what your expected price that you're trying to sell. So let's say like 650. So this is gonna be like 800, right? It can gonna be like 450 rupees. And then for sales revenue. And finally, you can come up with all sales revenue and the total here, you can take your total value, right? And in order to, even though that you are in a position to earn an expected income sales, definitely there will be a set of expenses that you have to incur. And then again, you can see for the transportation, advertising, maybe like depreciation in terms of your machineries, vehicles, especially related to the production part. And if there's any sales commission that you have to provide to your sales agents, or maybe for the, I would say, businesses, is always there will be sales commission for them, right? So then you can come off your total expenses here. You can see kind of a not the profit here, guys, because you definitely cannot come up with the profit in terms of the marketing plan. So this is basically, I would say, your cost of sales, I would say, right? So your sales and whatever the cost incurred for that, not going for a profit or a loss exactly, because there will be another admin expenses, financial expenses based on that. Because you have to wait till the financial plan to get the financial expenses like interest and stuff like that. And you have to wait till that you get the admin expenses like employee wages, once you prepare the HR plan. But here we only focus on the marketing related expenditures. So you can come up with like that. Well, so then it gives you the factor about, how they can, develop their plan. Now, this is a very basic structure, but it's not just easy that I explain, practically when they try to prepare the marketing plan. So it's like takes so many times, so many effort of people, because now especially looking to the comparative analysis is not easy to gather those information and to see what sort of study that we have to face, right? So it's maybe like take so many times, so many effort of a lot of people, maybe a separate team is working for that. Not just a marketing manager, not just one person working in, so always a team effort, I would say. Well, so that's about it, the marketing plan. So I'm just trying to today, give a very basic intro about the business plan and stuff like that, and then try to marketing plan. And so guys, I'm gonna finish off today like a bit early. So then for the operation plan, and for the HR plan, again, there's not much needed to, I would say, refresh since we just completed the lesson. And the financial plan and the operations. So we need to refresh the fact that operation, financial, stuff like that we'll, discuss, and then we also will come with some practical example. And the thing is, guys, maybe it look might complicated for you, but if you really think what they have tested in the examinations, not that much, difficult, always for the MCQs, they are always asking about what is exactly some of the stuff like that. And they're like very straightforward question that they're asking. But if you have to, if you have any plans to face with that question in the part 2, so that is where that you have to, go into more detail. That's only applicable for the part 2. So we'll anyway do a past paper questions as well and see what sort of the questions they have tested from this area as well. Where usually students do not focus much, but definitely we'll highlight the part 1 stuff tested from this area, and also from 2 questions as well, because you need to have that freedom to select what sort of question that you are going to face. Well, so with that, guys, so thank you for joining, and we'll see you with the next one. So we'll try to cover their operations and the HR plan and also finance. Well, thanks then. Thank you, guys.